Today's postcard is from ye old treaty house, Uxbridge in Middlesex. Ken, this really is one of the old buildings of Uxbridge, one of the landmark places of the town, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, yes, yes. We're here in the one surviving wing of a very large E-shaped house, which was known as Place House. And of course it was here in 1645 that talks were held to try and bring the Civil War to a close. What had happened was that by 1644 the King Charles I had fled to Oxford and the parliamentarians were holding London. Talks were suggested to try and bring the war to a close. There was one place at that time between London and Oxford that offered suitable accommodation for the talks, and that was Uxbridge. And so they took over some rooms here, and the negotiations went on for 3 weeks. They had lots of things to discuss, what was going to happen about the two armies, who was going to run the country and how. Even Ireland was a problem at that time. And I'm sorry to say that at the end of 3 weeks, absolutely no agreement was reached whatsoever. The two sides went their separate ways and the Civil War carried on.
How much longer did it carry on for?
Well, it was 1662, I think it was, when things finally got back to normal again and the monarchy was restored.
So here in this room we have the most magnificent panelling, and the house itself, of course, is right in the middle of much Middlesex modernity now around it, and it's like a little historic heritage oasis now, isn't it?
Lovely. Yes,
Tell us a bit
right.
about this room then, with this magnificent panelling.
Well, it's a remarkable story, really. In 1929, an American businessman purchased the panelling in this room. There were no conservation laws at that time, no listed buildings, and so, of course, no one could prevent him doing so, despite the fact that people in the town felt that part of their heritage was disappearing. So the panelling was taken down, shipped across in a liner to New York and put up in an office there. It eventually came into the ownership of Armand Hammer, the oil magnate, after the Second World War. And as a gesture to our present Queen at the time of her coronation, he offered it back to her as a present, coronation gift. Well, the Queen, in her wisdom, decided that the best place for it was to be put back in this room.
That's incredible. I didn't know this story.
Yeah. So amazingly, this panelling, after so many years in the United States, came back and has been put back in its original position.
So did she personally acknowledge that then?
Oh, indeed, yes. Yes, in fact, they've got framed here the telegram from the Queen saying how pleased she was to learn that it had been restored to its original home.
Now, my hometown, I never knew that, and much of the big renaissance of the county of Middlesex was actually also planned from this room.
Is that so?
With a lot of county supporters coming here. So it's amazing how this building has played its part in local, county and even national history. Ken, with all this oscillating backwards and forwards from Britain to America and America back to Britain, and it's obviously gone back in its place, but I wonder if it's suffered much damage. There seems to be a hole over there.
Yes, well, the assistant manager here tells us that that was where Mr. Hammer put a light switch.
Just sort of cut through the panelling.
So removed a section.
Yes.
Yes. And also, apparently, it had to endure a coat of brown paint while it was in the States, but fortunately it's all been cleaned off now and back to its original state.
I hate to tell you, but oak is sort of quite a dark brown colour, and I wonder what colour he painted it. Brown again, perhaps?
Well, perhaps so.
And my final question, did King Charles ever come here?
No, he didn't. I mean, it's a sad story, really, insofar as Charles didn't come, Cromwell didn't come. Their representatives came and spoke here. And of course, no treaty was signed.